All right, you guys have been asking for me to do a follow-up on the Vue fluid, which we've been trying now for, how long have we had this? It's been over a month, right? Well over a month we did this. It's a couple months? Yeah, couple months of usage in this. So we've been testing it out, obviously. This was the first system we put it in right here. Check out that video if you guys haven't seen it already. It's where I show it for the first time. We're also been running it back here in the Threadripper build, and this is the newest build. You guys saw me do the no talking, just building. That was actually a giveaway system for one lucky winner that EVGA had a competition back on their anniversary, but it's running in there as well. But now we're gonna take apart our blocks. We're gonna see how well this is actually held up. Today's video is sponsored by EasySkins. If you're like me and you're hard on your devices, whether it be your cell phone, your tablet, heck, even your console, EasySkins has got you covered regardless of your device. Doesn't matter if you're talking about a OnePlus 5, if you're talking about an iPhone, a Samsung, an LG, but they also sent me over here an iPhone 8 Plus, which has a skin pre-applied. And I think Nick's gonna like this one, because check this out. We've got camo. That's pretty awesome, actually. So we've got a full covered device right here. The face, we've got to do the obligatory removal of the plastic. Check that out. Look at that. Look at that camo skin. That looks pretty awesome. If you guys want to keep your devices protected, whether it be an iPhone, a Samsung, an LG, your PlayStation 4, your Xbox One, your tablet, go and check out EasySkins. You can find the link in the description below. Now, to be fair, if the color doesn't look as vibrant as it did before, that's because these tubes and this reservoir and stuff was stained. It was already stained from the orange fluid we ran back when we had the Mayhem's orange in here. It actually stained the PETG, even the acrylic, but I'm not too concerned about that. I wanna see what happened with the blocks. Also too, I wanted to kind of show the new panels that we've been using on here, because if you remember, I also talked about airflow on this, especially for water cooled like this, when you have a front rad. Not a very good case for airflow. And the reason being is it only had these tiny little vents to blow air out the top, and it brought in air through the sides right here on the front, and that's it. But obviously these panels have been modified. They have some mesh on here, and they've also obviously got some cutouts. These are from Mod My Mods. You guys can find a link to check these out down in the description below. They sent these over for us to try out. They definitely help temperatures. Unfortunately, the Evolve it's not the best when it comes to airflow, but this definitely helps. Not only that, it gives a really good aesthetic to it too. So yeah, go and check them out. This is the part that always gets a little bit messy. And this is why you will always find drain systems built into my loops, because man, it's just, why make it harder on yourself, right? You know what, who needs all that? Who needs that nonsense? Now, one thing I like to do too, that way you don't have your hose flopping all around, is I like to take the tube and insert it in the little hole right here, and then just kind of force it in there. If it doesn't want to go, you just got to push harder. Are you okay over there? Now it will just go down like that, and you're not gonna have it pop out on you. And then we just turn our valve. Now, it's not gonna get all of the fluid out, right? There's still gonna be some fluid stuck in that radiator and stuff, but what I care about right now is at least getting it apart enough to get GPU out and CPU block out. Kinda sounds like me after I have tacos. We'll take a look at that in a second. All right, now it's light. Okay, so we're all torn apart. I'm gonna start with the CPU block here. Like I said, it's important to remember this system has run multiple fluids. This was probably not the most cared for components, to be honest. You know, blasphemous. Do as I say, not as I do. I am your tech daddy. Oh man. You would think I would know better by now than just to turn a block over when I just took it out of the system, right? Well, this flew right in there, don't you know? Where's my alcohol? Gotta have your alcohol on hand. Like I said, this was not the most cared for, and I'm not proud of that. You can live through my mistakes. It's probably a good thing we took the system apart when we did. Look at this, our block cracked. See that? See the stress cracks? That's scary, to say the least. Yeah, this block is done. Ugh. But if we look down here at the copper though, look at that. Look how shiny that is. Do you remember what this one looked like? This is the one that was all looked like fiber because there was so much gunk in it.
Yeah, this looked like boogers and stuff.
Yeah, look at that. that's like cleaned. They're not claiming that this is going to clean your blocks. They just made a statement to me at PDX when they were showing me some pictures that this is something that they had experienced where like things were actually getting cleaned. This did not look like this when I put this together, this shininess of all the micro fins, because of the previous fluids that were used in here. You can see, oh man, if you look in the fittings right here, you can see how it's all like kind of dried and crusty. That's residue from the previous fluids. That was in the block when I started this, and I cleaned it out as best I could with a razor blade and a brush, but it did not have this shine to it. Unfortunately this block is done, so you can still see like some of the gunk that was in the block. See it all built up around here? That's gross. So the fact that it cleaned the metals is impressive. But yeah, sadly, this block is done. It's lived its life. It's time to go off to block heaven because of those cracks. Now it doesn't go all the way through. I can't feel it with my nail right here, and it's not cracked through on this side. So it's in the middle, like it's in between. Does that make sense? So if you look through the side, you can actually see the cracks and like the depth of the cracks. So it's in the middle of the acrylic. It doesn't make it to the extent, like to the exterior or interior. But once the cracks start, once you start crack, you know, it's hard to get off, so I've heard. I mean, because it's a clear block, we can kind of see what's going on in there, but you can still see some of that orange gunk I was talking about in there. These definitely need a deep, deep cleaning. These need to be soaked. All right, here we go, you ready? Actually, that doesn't look half bad. Look, the gunk and stuff I was seeing, let me turn this over. So this block is still pretty good. The gunk I was seeing is stuck to here, look at that. So if you look through there, you can see it, but if, look, I can just, so we just wipe this dry. Wow, look how shiny that is. All right, I mean, I hate to be like, oh my God, this stuff is cleaning your blocks, but I mean, obviously they're not gonna go out and say, this cleans your stuff, but look at this is impressive, in my opinion. You remember this block, right? You remember how like tarnished it started to look, how it was changing color.
Yeah.
I've never seen a fluid actually clean a block before. I've only seen fluids, and I'm going back, guys, I'm going back a decade. I'm going back to like Fluid XP days and early Fesser and all that stuff. I've not seen a fluid ever actually clean metal before. It cleaned bare copper, where'd it go? It cleaned bare copper, and now it's cleaned nickel plating. I think what we're gonna have to do, honestly, is my workstation PC upstairs, we'll run this one, let's say for like 6 months, and then tear it apart and see what it looks like, because that's never seen fluid before. So if you want to talk about the different fluids that this block has seen and why this is impressive to me, this block right here, this was one of the original cards in Skunkworks when I went 3-way Titans, you know, the Titan XP, or not XP, but the Titan X Maxwell cards. This saw Mayhem's Pastel, this has seen Mayhem's X1, this has seen Mayhem's XT1 in blue, and then this has now seen the Primochill Vue, and this is what it looks like. It did not look this good when we first put it in there. In fact, you could still see some of the discoloration. If you look in the corner, you get the lighting just right. If you look right here on the edge, you can see some of the discoloration, you can see some more of the discoloration right there, and you can see some of it right there. That is what the whole block looked like when I first took these apart and then upgraded with the 1080s in Skunkworks. But you can see now where the main flow is. Look how shiny that is. How it's actually started to clean. Right, a little bit of discoloration right there, but that's actually not part of the flow. You know, flow plane. It goes in there and goes out, spreads and goes back. Previously, when I was using like the nano fluids, the O-rings had a really kind of a hard, crunchy feel to them because of this, again, this, you know, whatever that residue is that's in the fittings, would also make its way to the O-rings. But the O-ring now, you can look at it, it looks hydrated, right? You can still see a little bit of the remnants of what I was talking about on the inside of the ring right there. Do you see that kind of a powdery look? Right, that's the nano fluids always left this kind of a powder buildup in the loops. But where it's actually been touching now, the other side of it, with the new fluid, actually is shiny and hydrated. Okie dokie. Yeah, same thing, where a lot of what looked like was stuck to the block is, actually stuck to backside of the moon. No, stuck to the actual acrylic right here. I am very happy with what I'm seeing right here. They didn't ask me to do this video, you guys did, so that's why I'm doing it. And let me just tell you right now, I am highly impressed with what I'm seeing right here. The block, I mean, it's got a little bit of residue on there that we can clean up. still left over from the previous fluids, but man, we clean this, we polish this up, it will look good as new. I'm just wiping it with a dry paper towel too, and this is what we're getting. I mean, I think it's impressive that we have a fluid now that's actually giving us positive results right here, and I'm not seeing any negative in any of the systems we're running this in. Again, I've been using it upstairs too in my editing rig all along, no temperature issues, no gunking, as you can see, is happening, so I don't expect it to happen up there with brand new parts. But yeah, I mean, in the water cooling industry, the fluid is obviously the most important part. And not only does it give you these positive results like this, it looks cool too. Definitely worth checking out. Again, Primochill did not ask me to do this video. This is purely a response to the community asking me, tear your blocks apart and let us see what the insides look like, because, well, I think that's a very valid thing to ask for. But it is apparently available on the market now. It's on their website. You can see it. Pre-orders have already started shipping. And yeah, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing here. Let's look at the O-ring on this one, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. But look, do you see how hydrated this O-ring looks? You see how soft this is? I'm not kidding. There has been blocks I've taken apart after running nano fluids that were just, the O-rings were crunchy and really started to make me worried about reusing them, but that's a pretty hydrated O-ring right there. And it's not shiny just because it's wet, it's shiny because the rubber, I mean, the rubber is hydrated, right? I mean, do you see that, Nick? That's not wet, right? That's just shiny rubber.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Honestly though, I think it's a good idea that we get Nick's feet wet with rigid tubing and stuff. He's gonna need a computer now, obviously, for upstairs. So maybe what we'll do when we come back from the Thanksgiving holiday is we'll have Nick build his first rigid tubed PC.
Oh boy.
I mean, you've got a rigid tube PC, but I built it for you.
Yeah.
I think we need you to do it.
Okay.
Make sure you guys hit like if you wanna see Nick, his first time doing high-end custom water cooling to his own stuff. So, all right guys, we're gonna go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.